I am Picasso with the Eagle Riders MC here in Las Vegas, and I am here with...
I am Hollywood with Black Patch MC here in Las Vegas.
So if you have been following our channel for a little bit, you may have noticed a little bit of a change in decor and a little different design. We are in a brand new studio we're very, very excited about. It's been something we've been working on for a little while, and holy cow, are we excited to be here. And so this is going to be really, really cool. So now we can actually do interviews with people. We can have a little bit more room. We can do more demonstrations and stuff. We're really, really looking forward to kind of being into this new studio. So welcome back to our channel. We have a very special guest here actually today. So as we're kind of diving into our new channel, we have a guest here that we're very excited to be interviewing. So it was based off of a question that we got from one of our viewers. We've been getting a few of them actually, about ministry clubs. So the question we actually got was from one of our viewers, which was, now I'm trying to read this here. McCollers 1872. The usernames we get are really interesting, aren't they? And he was wondering, he said, I'm wondering if you have any knowledge on MMs, which is motorcycle ministries, and how they interact with MCs and RCs. And it's a brilliant question. We get asked this quite a bit, and we actually ride with a lot of ministry clubs. And all of them are really, really awesome. And we've always had very good experiences with these guys. And so we are here today with one of our good friends, which is Fluffy from Bikers for Christ, which is a pretty self-explanatory name, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Tells us a little bit about you guys. But so, you're here in Las Vegas. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us a little bit about the club.
So Bikers for Christ was actually founded in 1990 by a Pastor Z, who's still around. He's still running the organization. We're actually worldwide. We are in multiple countries, just about every state in the United States. I happen to be the chapter elder here in Las Vegas. Got that way through, just moving up through the ranks and other people moving on. But it's Bikers for Christ. We're everywhere. We just our focus is on God and the Bible.
Now,
but we like to serve the biker community.
Right. Now, are you guys only based in Vegas, or do you have other chapters?
Oh, we have chapters all around the country.
Okay.
All around the world. So there's actually a chapter in Bullhead City. There's a chapter in St. George. There's a chapter out in Arizona. But we're everywhere.
You're all over the place. Okay.
All over the place.
Oh, very cool. Okay. So, a lot of people watching our channel, we talk about it all the time, are used to MCs, right, which is motorcycle clubs, and RCs, which are rider clubs. So tell us what an MM is, because I think a lot of people see that on patches and they don't know what it means.
So it is a motorcycle ministry. So kind of like an MC and RC, we do have protocols, and we have bylaws and things we stick by. The main difference is our focus is on God. When we bring people in, where other organizations, MCs, MMs, or MCs and RCs, they have prospects. We call them hang-arounds. Just come hang around with us. And for us, we're just trying to find out if they're where they're at spiritually. Do they have a good foundation? Because as we go out and we're going into areas that other people wouldn't like to go into. We used to do a street ministry down in Naked City. So I'm down there at 10 o'clock at night. People are like, aren't you nervous? Like, no, God sent me. I'm fine.
For those who don't, I'm gonna interrupt you one second. For those who don't know what the Naked City is here in Las Vegas, it has become a little more seedier of an area, I guess the best way to call it. But back in the day, I don't know if you know this.
Yep.
I was born here in Vegas. And so, I kind of know a little bit about what the Naked City is. Back in the day, it's an area over by the Strat Hotel. And back in the day, they called it the Naked City because that's where all of the showgirls, the hotels, when they had the large shows going on, like Jubilee and Follies and a lot of these big Vegas production shows, the showgirls, a lot of them were from outside the country. And so they put them up in residential housing in that area. And a lot of them used to sit out and tan sunlight.
Sunbathe on the roof, right? Naked, yeah.
Right. So hence the name Naked City. So it's like an old Vegas thing, So yeah.
But yeah, that's true. So with the MMs, our focus is on God. The club, the motorcycle ministry is just really a ministry. So our hang-around time is get it 6 to 7 months. Figure out where you're at, what you're doing, because number one, we want to make sure that they're respectful of the MC community, what they're doing, what they are, and I have made mistakes when I first came on board. I didn't really understand all the protocols, and I called off a couple of times. So. But that's our hang around time is us to make sure that If we show up at an event, you're not gonna, say something inappropriate or do something stupid.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Getting to know the biker protocols.
Yes, they get
Yeah.
the biker protocol. There's a actual, we sit them down and we read this and we go through it with them. It's actually one of the former chapter elder, the guy that was in the elder when I first joined, was from the MC community, and he set us down and he used to do a biker protocol class.
No,
Very
interesting.
nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, does a motorcycle ministry, in terms of a club structure, does it kind of work the same? Is the setup and the members, the officers? Is
No.
there's no familiar? Or
There's no. So we really there's really all there is the chapter elder and everybody else. But even as a chapter elder, I'm a patch holder like everybody else is. We don't have sergeant at arms and road
Okay.
captains, and so basically I'm the guy that does all the paperwork. That's all that means. But and like I have guys in the chapter. Hey, you worry about the spiritual development of the group. You worry about the scheduling. We're being a rights. Because one of the things we also do here is we work really hard to be neutral.
Yeah.
So it's at everybody's event. So nobody can say, well, you like them better than you like us, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I've learned about you guys a lot is that there are different organizations that fraternal organizations, let's say, that clubs belong to. And I know you belong to everything.
Yep.
And I know you take a very neutral stance on that. So I kind of get that, and the more I've known you guys and known other ministry clubs, the more it took me a little while to kind of wrap my head around that a little bit, but it makes more sense the more I know you guys. So yeah, I kind of get it.
And it's a tough balance.
Oh,
I'd imagine it is, yeah.
It really is a tough balance. So, there's clubs, that can't be together. I'll leave their event, go to the other club's event.
Sure, because everybody loves you guys, right?
Yeah.
we're neutral as well, so
Yeah.
we fully understand the balance and
Yeah.
the stress that it can cause.
Yep.
So yeah, okay. So I kind of that's kind of new to me, and that there's no per se officers or the structure. It's
Nope.
just about like-minded people trying to spread the word.
That's it.
Okay.
So I'm curious because you're Bikers for Christ, right? Again, obvious, a Christian club, right?
Right.
Have you ever run into other types of religion? I mean, and I would imagine there are probably, and correct me if I'm wrong, but are there other types of religious-based clubs that have maybe different types of Christian beliefs? A Catholic club, let's say, or other different types of even religions that you've run into, like a Jewish club or a Muslim club, or have you run into that?
Never run into any of those. It's
Really?
always been Christian based. So you kind of like the whole Christian, everybody has their own little sects, the Baptists and the Pentecostal, stuff like that. Even with the motorcycle ministries, we have the same thing. There's actual motorcycle, they're MCs, but they're Christian clubs.
Yeah.
Which is, another way of going about it. But I haven't run into any Jewish or Islamic. If I did, I'd love them just like everybody else.
Yeah, of course, right? No, and that makes sense, right? I just was curious,
No.
if you became, as you're more of that kind of like, for example, there are some clubs that are very politically based, right? So because of that, they become more magnets to other politically based clubs. So I wasn't sure if that was something that you've run into much at all. So.
Not other religions, but the Christian clubs in town, we get along, and we try to do stuff with each other. And I'm talking with the other leaders, and everything goes on between us. So
So, sorry, I don't want to interrupt.
Yeah, no,
that
no.
kind of leads me to a question I've been curious about.
Yeah, we were talking about you behind your back at lunch. And it was and he has a really good question.
Club life,
Mhm.
clubs, MCs. They, some don't get along. They, you hear about it in the news, hear about it from other people. Other motorcycle ministries, do they experience a similar aspect of,
well, we do.
you do?
You get that, sometimes you get a push or, somebody will do something, I don't know about that. But I think with the way that we come, because biblically speaking, if you have a problem with your brother, your fellow Christian, you go to them and you speak to them. If they don't listen, you bring another Christian in, you talk to them. But we work things out, I think, better than some of the MCs do. Because one of the things as a Christian, you need to be humble and you need to be able to understand that, we may disagree on something, but in biblical truth, what's in the Bible is in the Bible. And so you can break it down and move that. So I think it makes it easier for us to reconcile where we're at.
Our arguments are settled pretty quickly.
They are.
There's only one word.
Right,
There's
that's true,
there's
right?
one Bible. There's one thing that tells us where we're supposed to be.
Yeah. Very nice. Yeah.
So is your club like mostly affiliated with one particular church,
Nope.
or all your members? Okay, I was wondering about
Yeah.
that, if like all your members had to be part of the same church or not.
No, there's 3 different churches we attend right now. So most of when it first started off, it was a church up north. I attend the Crossing in the southwest corner of town, and a couple of guys attend a smaller church over towards Henderson. So now we need to get back to it again, but we'll go church hopping.
Mm.
We just go around, just kind of introduce. That's how we kind of promote, get people out. Is we'll go out and go to different churches. But no, as long as you're biblically sound. But that is one of the things to be in Bikers for Christ. You have to be a member of a church in good standing.
Oh,
And
sure.
we're going to talk to your pastor, and we're going to find out what's
Oh, no
going
kidding.
on,
Okay.
just to make sure that you're, and it's one of the things that I caution guys on that want to be Bikers for Christ. Like, I put that patch on your back, the devil's going to attack you.
Hmm.
And so bad things start to happen. So even when I became the chapter elder, I had to go home and think about it. Go, man, I'm taking a big step. And
Yeah, sure.
things fell apart a little bit, but I actually, one of the other, it's a Christian ministry, but they're an MC here in town. He was a mentor of mine, and I just went to him, sat down, and hey, should I do this? He goes, yeah, you can do it. You'll be fine. And we prayed with each other, and we got through it. And I was like, yeah, I'll take it over.
Did you ever try to model, or like, how did you, so, because it is kind of, it's a unique subsegment of this culture, right? So did
Mhm.
you ever find that, like, did you have a mentor on how you formed this club as a ministry club? Like, or did you model it after somebody else, or like where was your guidance in setting this up?
Oh, it's because Pastor Z, when he sets up in the 1990s, through different ways they do stuff, and we have quarterly meetings where all the chapter elders will get together, discuss what's going on in the world and what protocols, make little changes if we need to. But yeah, it was all set up for me, and I was taught by my predecessor, who was taught by his predecessor, and so it's pretty outlined. This how you're going to run your
Good that you
club.
had history there, yeah.
Yeah, it's and if I got questions or comments, I've talked to Pastor Z. Just say, hey, I'm not sure what's going on. So we do. I'm the chapter elder. We have a state elder, so I can call him, and he'll talk me through some stuff. Like if there's a beef going on with some MCs in town, or if we hear about something in another part of the country, they'll let us know. Hey, watch out for this.
Mhm.
And so we'll talk with each other, make sure we're good. But it's all set for me.
Do you find people from other clubs, outlaw clubs, or any kind of MCs, RCs, ever give a motorcycle ministry trouble? Just
It's happened recently, yes.
okay.
Really?
So you kind of experience a similar aspect of someone in the MC world.
Yep. It really does come down to, well, I know, you're hanging out with that club, but so we don't want to associate you with you.
Mhm.
And that's where I have to sit down and go, look, understand, I'm at everything. I love everybody. I'm here for anybody. I don't get involved with the politics part of it. It blew over pretty quick. Some cooler heads. It was some lower level people were kind of pushed around. Some
That's
higher
usually
level
how it
people
is.
came and said, look, just let them be.
On that same note, what about the police? I've heard many stories of motorcycle ministries being pulled over just like any other
Oh, yeah,
1%.
we do.
Really, yeah.
And
Well, I
getting-
think what happens is that they see the cut and the bike and the 4 or 5 guys riding together. They pull us
They don't
over and
like
they just go, "Oh, that was a waste of time."
Yeah, right. You guys especially,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Because we leave events and we get followed, and
Sure.
usually they'll pull in behind us again and see Bikers for Christ. These guys don't know anything, and they turn around.
Yeah.
Well,
But we do get
we've
pulled.
shown a few times on this channel where we've gone to. I have photos of, we've gone to parties for other clubs, and then the police will show up across the street with cameras and stuff.
Yep.
It's
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
funny, but it's like it's a valid question, right? Because I mean, I think there's an element certainly with a lot of people of kind of the ignorance to our culture, and so certainly the police
Absolutely.
have that as much as anybody. I think they know more than they do. But it becomes a lot of that too, and it's a valid question, I guess.
It is.
But
Yeah.
so how other
But
people deal with it.
And what I get is like when I'm at church, and this is my church clothes. I ride my bike to church. I've had 1%ers from 1% clubs come in, and they're wearing a cut, and I run the security at my church too. So I go walking out, and they're like, "Oh, I'll go put." I'm like, "No, I'm honored that you bring your cut to my church.
Sure.
Yeah.
Bring it on in." But I get the people going, "How can you hang out with gangs?" I'm like, "I don't hang out with gangs.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I hang out with motorcycle clubs."
Yeah.
Well, they're gangs. No, they're not. They're motorcycle
Yeah,
clubs.
we get that all the
I
time.
have to educate them on. I mean, these are some of the nicest, kindest people, and they give back to the community.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Now, what they do on their own side when I'm not there, not my business.
Right.
I just know I've got some really. I will tell a story. When my daughter was at an event, and she was 14, and they said, "Aren't you nervous having your 14-year-old your daughter here at this club?" I was like, "She is safer in this parking lot than anywhere in this
Oh,
country.
it's so true. Yeah.
Absolutely safer."
Oh yeah.
Oh, 100%. So yeah.
Would you say that there's any kind of protocol going when you want to start a motorcycle ministry? Do you have to go to a dominant club? Is there any kind of steps to take for
I
that aspect?
Quite honestly, I think there should be more.
Okay.
Because it's kind of like any church, any club. Somebody gets an idea that, hey, I want to do a little bit different. I'm going to go start my own
Yeah.
thing. And it's one of the things that when clubs come in, they want to present a patch. There's a couple organizations they come into, and it's not really like asking permission, but it's more like a respect thing.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
And one of the things we ask them is like, have you tried another club?
Yeah. That's
We
a
don't-
big question all the time.
Yeah, all the
Talk
time.
about this a lot. Yeah.
We don't need so many. I mean, try to find a patch and fit in with them.
Yeah.
I mean, we're so watered down on some other things, but
One of our most popular videos we actually did was why not to start your own club.
Yeah.
So it's for that reason.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah.
yeah, I just got into Bikers for Christ just because two guys from Bikers for Christ walked into my church.
Hmm.
And all I saw was bikers, and I freaked out. Went over there, and turned out to be Bikers for Christ. So I'm stuck with them for, I'm going on 12 years.
Oh, that's
Very
awesome.
nice.
Okay.
Yeah. Very cool. All right. So, I mean, what
Yeah, I mean, I
Anything
guess I had one other question was like, so let's say I'm in my church and you and I met,
Mhm.
right? And I'm part of the Christian faith and I see you guys. So I know you said like you don't do prospecting or you call them
Hang-arounds.
We call them hang-arounds too, but
Yep.
hang-arounds are usually in our world like the step before prospect, right?
Mhm.
So with hang-arounds, so somebody comes to you and says, "Hey, listen, I ride a Harley. I love that you guys look really interesting." And they want to join a ministry club. So how does that work? If you don't do actual like prospecting, maybe not in the traditional sense of like MCs might. So how is it like different? Like how would somebody be interested in joining, or how is the process? Because my understanding is from what I'm hearing is that you guys are somewhere between like an RC and an MC. I think.
Yes.
if you were to
So-
categorize it,
Right. If you were to
Yes.
kind of try to define it. So how would somebody who might be interested, somebody approaches you and says, you know, hey, I'm interested, I ride, you know, what's the next step? How does that work?
So the next step is I tell them to go to bikersforchrist.org. And in there they can read about Bikers for Christ, what we're about, what we stand for, when we're at. After they complete that, I'll just say, look, we got a WhatsApp, and I'll put you on there for our hang-arounds.
Sure.
Mhm.
It lets you know where we're going, what we're doing. Now, when you're first hanging around, you show up, or keep you with us, keep you close, talk, just try to figure out what it is. And now we've even instituted where there's a Bible study we want them to go through to further understand where they're at. That's why the 6 to 7 months to figure out where they're going. And then it's once we get comfortable with them, I always wait for them to come and ask me when do I get my patch.
Okay. Right.
It's one of those that you got to really want it. You got to work for it. We don't just hand them out. And also, kind of like in the MC community, if somebody stops following our protocols or starts doing things that aren't in alignment with Bikers for Christ, I'll ask for their patch back. And I just hang it up in my closet. And when you're ready and you think you want it back, we'll come and we'll talk about it. And we sit down to make sure that they're following all the protocols. So that's why the 6 to 7 months. But to get in, you first start with bikersforchrist.org, read about it, come talk to me. And then there's a form you fill out where we go through and we ask you some questions about your faith and your religion and where you stand on certain things. And it has to go to your pastor of your
wow.
church, and he has to sign off on it.
Oh, that's very cool. Okay.
And then we'll go back and talk with the pastor. I'll go to their church, sit down and talk with them, see what kind of church it is. We don't want people, dancing around with snakes or talking in tongues and things like that.
Been to
So
some of those services. Yeah. Those are
they're-
interesting. Yeah.
they're here.
Vegas.
They are here.
Yeah,
Yes.
they're here.
I know bikers that are involved with those. Yeah. And it's
Mhm.
great. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
but we vet them pretty good. Of course, what your past is. If you've been in certain organizations, we're just like the MCs. You can't have been associated with certain organizations because if they find out, then we can't minister to the people. We primarily minister to the motorcycle community.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense. Right. Yeah.
All right.
Stay in your lane kind of thing.
So it's kind of you call it the hangaround period, but it's kind of in a way a prospect.
It is a
Yeah,
prospect
it's
period.
exactly
We
what
just
it
call them
sounds
hang
like,
arounds.
I mean, we're all doing as a prospect. We all do our time trying to figure out
Mhm.
whether we fit and
Mhm.
whether the club thinks we fit as well.
Mhm.
It's not only do you fit into the club? Is
Yeah.
the club going to fit into what you're doing?
Right. Yeah.
100%,
The-
yeah.
I think one of the main differences is that again, our focus is God. God's the center. God's the center of my life. I wake up, end my day with God. Now the ministry comes second, where I think in the MC world, the club comes first and everything else comes second.
Right.
So that's where, I've had guys come around with me and they want more structure. They want to be told where they need to be. I'm like, I'm not going to tell you. You got to listen to God.
Yeah, sure.
And I've lost guys to the MC world because they want to be, of course, they go, I'm going to be their minister and I'm going to go to that club. And I'm like, no, you're not, but okay. So
that makes sense though. Yeah.
yeah.
And you kind of touched on it about the church you go to. And forgive me if I missed it, but is your club tied to a certain church?
Nope.
Are motorcycle ministries ever tied to a church?
Not really.
Yeah.
Some of them have some might even have their own church. Some have their clubhouses and do the things, but no, not tied to any particular church or any sect of the religion. All you got to do is have for us, it's, do you believe Jesus Christ died for your sins and that, there's only one God, and you read the Bible. Other than that, and yeah, you want whatever church you want.
Pretty simple.
That's
It's
awesome.
pretty straightforward, yeah.
Well, listen, thanks so much for coming in today. We really, really appreciate it. This is a great interview. I hope everybody finds this very useful. I think they will.
Yeah.
I will wrap our video up today just by saying, hey, please like and subscribe to our channel. It helps us get into beautiful studios like this. And we're very, very fortunate that we've kind of grown to a point where we can get into a place like this. So it's very, very exciting. And again, Fluffy, it's been an absolute pleasure having you here today. Thank you so much.
It's a blessing for any time I get to go out and share what we do and where we're at. Because I think, as you guys have experienced, people don't really understand what an MM is.
definitely.
Oh, of course, right?
Yeah.
And one more time, I know you said it, but I'll put it on the screen here. How do people find you guys?
Bikersforchrist.org.
.org, right.
.org.
Perfect.
And in there, you can go down, and if you go down to search down to Nevada chapter out, it'll show Fluffy and my phone number.
There you
Get
are.
a hold of me.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Thanks, everybody. We will look forward to seeing you on the next video. And we'll see you then. So,
All right.
Thanks for having
oh,
me.
wait, we got to do our traditional
Yeah.
shot. Yeah, I forgot about that. Sorry, our traditional shot. We always do this. We sometimes forget. So, but cheers.
This is
You're going to love this.
crap again.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, that's great. Have a great one, guys. Keep the shiny side up.
All
See you on the next video.